Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thor Open League of Legends first annual tournament. Oh my goodness, that game, man. Fnatic really coming out strong at game number 1, but it will not matter because we got Wolves versus Team Alternate here for game number 2. I'm the FourCourtJester. With me in Sigma Theory. You got, you been playing in traffic or something in Sigma?
I am not. But I think I know what that is. Hold on.
But we got the picks and bans ready to roll. Team Red, Team Blue, ready to go here in beautiful. I can't say it, but Chistamastan. It's in Stockholm. It's in Stockholm.
Is that what it is? Chista
Masan.
We should make a game out of this.
How many times can these casters get the name of the city wrong? Yeah, probably a lot. Either way, on your left-hand side, Copenhagen Wolves coming out 0-1 so far in the round-robin play, but this is their chance to shine up against Team Alternate, better known as Forgotten Lord's team, the Trout Lord, the 3000 Elo. Yeah, he's really up there.
He was really good. I mean, I haven't seen him much lately, but that's mostly because I haven't been paying that much attention. But when it comes down to it, he's really good.
When you come down to it, I mean, all these guys are that upper echelon of the League of Legends. I mean, pretty much everyone here is Diamond, and Diamond is, what, less than 1% of the entire population? So yeah, I'm going to go with they're really good. Now,
oh, definitely.
Last game, Wolves pretty much just got trod all over by Fnatic. It was pretty heartbreaking. 20-6. Some really powerful team fighting coming out of Fnatic. So this round, I mean, we see that Katarina ban once more coming out of the Wolves.
Katarina right now is just, as a pick in general, she's very strong. I don't know that it's a very specific ban against Forgotten Lord, but just in general, the way the game goes when you have a Katarina in the game, it's almost like pre-nerf Eve. You have to play extremely safe all of the time, no matter what.
You know what? Orianna, Diana, Katarina. Yeah, they're pretty much just pure banning for Red Lord.
Yeah, Orianna still very strong. I haven't changed anything that she does lately. Diana, especially right now, very strong champion at the moment. I mean, nothing really beats Diana mid lane. At least no hard counters. And I think that's something that Riot's especially going for. But we did see Wolves pick up Eve as their first pick. So that's definitely going to be an Eve mid. I mean, I highly doubt they would take Eve to the jungle. I mean, it very well could, but I'd be willing to bet on the Eve mid. And then we see Alternate picking up a Zyra and an Olaf.
Yep, Zyra apparently going to be thrown down into that support role with Jairi. But Olaf, I mean, we just saw an Olaf last game. Pretty decent, strong support. I mean, he got that first blood with that counter gank, and he was able to really hold himself up very well in the jungle. So, is this going to be a mirror match of what we just saw from the ADCs? We got the tests on Ezreal yet again, and Metal X might be locking in a Caitlyn. But at the same time, you know, Jerkson, he took away, again, another one of those big played champions from Forgotten Lord. So not only do we got the 3 bans, but the first pick, again, just aimed at that Forgotten Lord.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you really want to shut down like the star member of the team. And even if you don't have someone specifically you want to ban out, just banning out one person and then turning around and shutting everyone else down really opens the door to how you can control the game. So we see Wolves picking up Elise and Ezreal after the first 2 from Alternate. Elise definitely going for that top lane as she runs, you know, Magic Pen and cooldown reduction, and she just absolutely dominates who she's against. Kind of doesn't really too much matter who they are. Lux and then Caitlyn being picked up on the other side for Alternate. So we're seeing that Caitlyn Zyra bottom lane and a Lux mid lane. I have seen Forgotten Lord play Lux. I'm not gonna lie, I would be very scared of it.
Quick note for everyone there at home: this is Season 3 patch. It's not the tournament realm, and Nami is auto banned, so that is why we don't see any bans or picks coming out from the newly released champion. But you do make a point. I mean, Lux mid, Communist Puppy, I know, likes to run that Lux mid, and of course Froggen. World-class Lux mid, my goodness. Laser's just spot on. But, with the Lux, you do have a lot of long-range control. Combo that with Caitlyn, again, really big long range on her auto attacks and her Piltover, and of course the ace in the hole. So we could see, a lot of poke coming out of these guys, especially with, J-Ree, if he is going to be on that Zyra. I mean, that's a lot of sustained poke that you can have for these team fights.
Yeah, most definitely. Cho'Gath being picked up on the side of Wolves and Blitzcrank as their last pick, so it's definitely going to be a Blitzcrank Ezreal bottom lane with a Cho'Gath jungle, Eve mid, and Elise top. Whereas alternate picking up that last being Warwick. So we're going to see actually a Warwick jungle. Out of the new Season 3, the single target junglers actually being slightly buffed when it comes down to clear time and just outside of farming. So we do see that Olaf top lane, and he very well could be, again, 1v2. They could definitely actually switch and have the Olaf go against a Blitzcrank. I would still feel really uncomfortable putting an Olaf versus a Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank kind of shuts down a 2v1 lane. Olaf using those axes, getting an early blue buff, can kind of, farm out that bottom lane and just kind of stay safe while the top lane, moving their AD carry and the support up to top, would kind of shut down the Elise in that event. But having the Blitzcrank, having the pull, even just getting close enough to axe is a very scary thing for Olaf to do.
Well, we are going to see what they do want to run, but Cho'Gath in the jungle, and as you said, Warwick, those single targets coming back. It's almost like we're being thrown back to the beginning of Season 2. When you mentioned Evelyn jungle, I was like, wow, this really could be the beginning of Season 2 once again. But no, she's just too solidified in her role as a mage there in the mid, especially since her remake.
Yeah, the burst from her ult alone just kind of, it really just screams mid lane champion. It really just screams mid lane AP carry. Now again, we could also see Elise go mid lane and the Eve go top, but assuming that Eve wants to roam and assuming that Eve wants to control the flow of the entire map, I would very much assume that we're going to see very standard play out of both of these teams.
Well, nothing really too weird there on Metal X, although he is running heal. And we do got that cleanse once again on the test. J-Ree, however, that bottom lane Zyra will be rocking that ignite, and it's still going to be that exhaust for the Wolves. So the Wolves not really embracing this support ignite philosophy that we've now seen 2 games in a row with their opponents.
A lot of what we're seeing lately is a lot of teams moving away from having an exhaust, which exhaust is used mainly to shut down a champion during a team fight. You put an exhaust on whatever carry right now that is on the enemy team that is really doing good, and you've completely changed the flow of that fight. So when you see something like alternate not give that exhaust, they're really saying we're not going to focus on shutting down one person. We're not going to focus on doing one thing. They're planning to go even across the board. They're planning to control everything as it goes.
I'm looking at Godbro and his runes. He actually has physical damage and attack speed on his Elise, but all of his masteries, at least the ones in the offensive tree, are all ability power based. And he does have a nice spread. It is mostly defense. Godbro did fairly decent up top. I mean, he did not win against Soaz in terms of just the kills or the farming, but at the same time I think his was the last lane to go down, and he himself only sustained I think 1 death the entire game. So we're gonna have to see if we can start bringing some more oomph here to the Wolves' lineup. 20 seconds to go here as we do start round robin number 2. Thor open in beautiful Stockholm. I hear it's snowy and now bright, so I hope it is quite the dazzling sight. But we're playing League of Legends. Who cares about the outside world right now?
I don't know, man. I live in Arizona. I live in the middle of a giant desert. What is snow like? Can you tell me that?
It's like sand, but tastier.
Really?
And it falls from the skies. Yeah.
Well, we get sand falling from the sky here, but that's an entirely different story. Dust storms are not fun.
No, I can't imagine that they are. So Team Alternate, I do recall there was a little bit of drama with them in the ESL EPS League. In fact, I do believe that they actually got banned out for just general tardiness. Thankfully, though, it was not them being tardy today. That was all Fnatic. Oh, Fnatic.
Yeah. A lot of tournament organizers nowadays are starting to kind of, they're really kind of laying down that law, and they're saying, you know what, guys, this is what we're doing. You got to follow it, and making an example. I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, I'm really happy to start seeing that.
All right, so guys, we are now into the game. Your blue corner, the Copenhagen Wolves, currently down 0-1. Going to be trying their luck here against Team Alternate. But man, oh man, that Trout Lord, Ferudden Lord, he's still 2400 rated even after the soft elo reset. So that's still pretty amazing to me. Wonder if he'll hit 3000 elo once again. But him and Alternate are going to be here. First game of the day for them. A little bit delayed because we did start off a little bit later. But in terms of level 1, nobody is really beelining it anywhere. I would expect the Wolves to invade, though. They do have a Blitzcrank.
Yeah, between having the Blitzcrank on top of the Cho'Gath for a Rupture, that level 1 team just seems really strong. I mean, it obviously is, but it just feels very strong, especially when you're up against a Warwick. Having that early jungle being shut down, I mean, it's almost a key moment. So with them not invading, I'm wondering if they have something else planned.
Well, I'm just taking a quick look here at the items, and once again you see multiple crystalline flasks on the Wolves, but a lot of wards yet again as well. Explorer wards, sight wards. I'm looking at Jerry though. Has a vision ward, 2 sight wards, the Explorer ward, and the Total Biscuit. I mean, 5 items start. Pretty terrible stuff.
Yeah, 5 items, OP, we win.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, no level 1 going to be going down. It's going to be starting off Wolves. Hopefully Warwick does not mind massacring his cousins, but at the same time we're going to be starting off nice simple blue here for Cho'Gath as well.
Yeah, very standard start out. And looking at the way things are setting up, Wolves this time no one going for those double golems bot lane. As we were talking about, it's now a very
hard,
risky thing to do. You have to decide right away whether something's going down. Blitzcrank landing a grab onto Jerry. Jerry actually landing the ignite onto Tess. Kind of trading back and forth.
Yes, hit points for hit points, but at the same time, neither team really has those sustains, so they're going to have to be chugging those pots, get those health points back. But also, I mean, Jerry throwing down that ignite really early means it's not going to be there for that next, 2-minute window or so. So we might have an opportunity here to be able to grab that first blood if it does not go down on top of Knee Godbro top lane. His Elise is getting stomped on.
Yeah, Kerp at this point knows that he just has to toss those axes. I mean, if he lets Godbro use those Qs, and oh my gosh, first blood goes down on top of Metal X.
As I said, you got that window. They did not have that ignite to count anything there from Jerry, and they don't really have enough to stop both of the Wolves. I mean, we didn't even have to use Flash really on either of them. At the same time, we already now use Flash and heal and the first blood going down on top of Caitlyn. Yeah, bottom lane is going to be in really good shape.
Without a doubt. And especially when you see both of them start that long sword, they're looking to get their items right away. They're not going for a kind of a safer route. They're building into something.
Already. Wow, this Ezreal. Svenskeren going to come into the mid. Lots of ignites going down, as well as the flash. Looking for the kill on top of Ferudden Lord, but it just will not work. And look at that double buff on both the jungler as well as the mid here for Alternate. This is going to be a pretty powerful mid lane if they do just kind of stick it out. But either way, all 4 buffs right now being controlled by Alternate. That is something to behold for an early game advantage.
Yeah, without a doubt. When you have that double buff on the mid lane from that first kill or the kill off of the jungler, I mean, not only are you dealing with a gold lead, now you're dealing with an enemy that has almost unlimited mana.
Yep. That's the point of the blue. Unlimited mana, extra cooldown reduction, just spam, spam, spam. Keep shoving that lane so as to deny you that creep farm. So Coat next is going to be coming up here. Jurgson on that Eve just going to be able to run away. Pretty easy stuff. Yeah, he's going to be able to be okay on that one. In terms of the gold, still pretty even, 1 kill a piece. And in terms of the creeps, I mean, look at that top. Kerp almost doubling Elise this early.
Yeah, when you're up against an Elise, the best route to do is to really try to harass them out. If you have a champion like Olaf that can just toss those axes back and forth and try to force her out of lane, even if you might burn your ignite early, it's still a better idea than to let the Elise get to that level 3 moment where her Q does so much damage to you that you really can't even stay in the lane to deal with it. That's pretty much first priority when it comes down to it.
I'm looking at Lord actually taking out the Wolves in what looks like to be a pretty healthy manner, and he does have that red and the blue, so he has the mana to spare for it, and that's just going to help him start getting more and more ahead. Now, he does have Chalice, and he also has that Doran's Ring. No boots to start off for him.
Now, in situations like this, I mean, obviously with the boots nerf and then the move speed buff to all champions, I mean, as we were saying, it's not exactly... It makes more sense now to not have to. Kerp actually getting dived on and a paw's going down.
You can see her just dangling at the top, just like, oh. And yeah, apparently we have a sound issue here on Ezreal. Yeah, I'm going to say Kerp is going to go down.
Ooh, actually, yeah. Should we make a bet on this one, whether or not he actually makes it away?
He doesn't have flash or ignite, and he's under his own tower. She has enough hit points to tank 1 or 2 turret shots. I don't see Kerp coming out of this one alive.
Oh, that's gotta feel really bad. I mean, when you're sitting there, you have it paused, and you're just watching that Elise just fall from the sky. That would probably... I don't know how I'd feel about that one.
Sound issue. Top lane issue. Oh, Lord. You are too cute. Kerp, big playing. Yeah. I'm calling cheats. All right, well, we'll see what they want to do. Svenskeren did drop in that mid lane, did give away those buffs, but when he went back to town, again, no boots for him, went for that Ruby Crystal. Is he going to be looking to upgrade the Hunter's Machete first, or is he just opting to get the Ruby Crystal over anything else at this point, just for increased ganking pressure?
I would assume that he's actually not looking to upgrade that Hunter's Machete really early. It's actually not a bad idea to just sort of sit on a Hunter's Machete. I mean, the amount of damage that it gives, it's pretty big, but having that extra health to not only sort of tank things out and last trades a little bit longer, it's kind of a big deal.
In the words of Ron Burgundy, I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah, for sure. Again, I'm also looking around. Like, we don't have boots on Kerp up top. Maybe he's wishing he did, but he has rejuvenation beads at this point. Elise doesn't have him either. We don't have him on Ezreal or bot lane. I mean, this is just emerging as more and more, as you said. Like, the level 1, you just don't go boots. The only person... In fact, we only got 3 people in the game with boots. 3 out of 7. 30%.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously seeing the Caitlyn pick up boots against Ezreal, so you want to dodge those skill shots. Having a Lux, having boots against a Eve, who doesn't really have necessarily, I mean, skill shots. She has one, but it's not so much an aimed one as it is an indirect one. So she doesn't really need the boots on it as well. The only one I'm really looking at here is Warwick. He needs those boots to get to lanes faster. I mean, he's still not level 6 yet, but I mean, having that is kind of important.
He's getting there. He's level 5 in a little bit, but yep, down goes Kerp. Knee God, bro, just gonna able to walk out of that one. Only took 1 turret shot, so yeah, Kerp in the dust. Now this should be a good chance for some CSing top lane. What a great hook that bottom lane though. Using that net, Metal X is going to be okay, and it is going to be a Philosopher's Stone, and there's the boots coming out for Olaf as well. And now we are going to be shoving this top lane. Knee God, bro, knows exactly what to do. We do got a Warwick coming up just to kind of babysit it a little bit. He's also going to receive a nice experience boost in terms of that, but business as normal. 2-1, a little bit of a gold lead here for the Wolves. What a great blitzkrieg. Blitz down south, grabbing that minion.
I'm just so captivated by this blitzcrank that I want to make sure that I'm there when he gets a grab. I want to be the one to go, yeah, you got a grab.
Well, I
No,
will.
most
I will leave
definitely.
that to you then, sir.
No. All right. So, yeah, I mean, we did see actually kind of one of the bigger things I wanted to point out. Elise actually started the lane without buying any items in particular. The only real item she bought was that crystalline flask. She just started that crystalline flask, potions, and wards. She didn't even so much as buy boots or any actual physical item when it came to the lane. So, I mean, we're kind of seeing that same thing as you know, Mordekaiser mid lane running 13 health potions.
Dyrus, oh man, that takes me back. 13 health potion more. I think I was watching Scar's stream, and he went up against an AP mid with cloth armor and 5 potions. He just kind of freaked out. Metal X, once again, getting hit by that grab. There goes that exhaust as well. And the Tess were able to solidify another kill in this bottom lane against this Caitlyn. So Caitlyn with boots does not matter against a Blitzcrank whatsoever, as he's able to just really start landing some of these hooks. I gotta say, you know, XL winner, landing those hooks has really done a good amount of work for the Tess bottom. I mean, 60 creeps to 37, 2 kills to 2 deaths. It's pretty obvious who's winning that bot lane.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's the boots, the nerf from the boots altogether really made it kind of an issue of whether or not. I mean, I was really excited to see that the boots were getting nerfed, because I was thinking, yes, we can go back to the days where not everyone starts the same item. We can go back to the days where mid lane starts amplifying tome, or even a jungler starts amplifying tome. You know, we go back to the really core piece of League of Legends and strategy.
Yeah, and in Season 3, I mean, again, like, a lot of theory crafters are going to be very interested in this patch simply because it's a big tournament. It's the first tournament on this new patch. Godbro up top, however, is going to be able to steal out those golems. Kerp, for whatever reason, deciding to try his luck at them. Did get off his axe on top of knee Godbro. In fact, he's kind of doing a pretty decent chase here, but it is going to force that spider's web to go on up. Kerp still chasing over. We do got Kotnix coming in with that flash. Forces out the flash from knee Godbro. There goes the suppress, but not too sure it's going to be enough. So flashes aside. Really good attempt here from Team Alternate. Almost called him Team Ferelden Lord. Wow.
It's close enough as it seems. F Lord almost missing that binding onto the Eve, just barely hitting it though. Eve, yeah, was starting to turn around and trying to cut off the Lux there. But you saw, especially when Coton was going up there to land his ult onto Godbro, Ferelden Lord was about there with that laser to sort of just seal the deal. But he didn't quite get there in time.
Yeah. Flashes have a tendency of just moving out of your range. That's the whole point of the spell. But, you know, lives to see another day. That's all right. I do think we actually have the blue on Ferelden Lord right now. Yes, we do. So about a quarter left on that. Eve actually starting to roam. Come in bottom lane. She does have her blue as well. Could we see a dive? Yes, it was a grab onto Meadow X. There goes the Stranglethorn and the True Shot Barrage. And Jerkson actually able to pick up the kill from afar with that ultimate. With the Ignite, is able to solidify that double kill. Really good roaming out of him. And what happened to Ferelden Lord? Yeah, he went to town. He went shopping.
Double kill onto Eve it's a very scary moment. When you turn around and think, well, there could be an invisible woman with a lot of burst right behind me, and I have no idea.
It's a scary thought. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people do have trouble just kind of dealing with the stealth aspect of this game. Twitch, Evelyn, others. Shaco. Oh, Shaco, the scourge of solo kill. Once again, top lane getting just pounced upon. Is going to go up with that Elise. Comes back down. They're just kind of waiting for it. Yeah, and she does drop to this gang. Did not have a flash to get out of that one. Flash cooldown, not exactly as short as the suppress coming out of Warwick. So really good capitalization on the top. But still, they dropped that bottom again. And 0-3-0 on Caitlyn. She's just getting farther and farther behind as time goes on.
Yeah, that bottom lane from Wolves is just, it's the goal that they're getting from it is just insane. Top lane right now, Alternate solidifying that tower, getting taken down. Warwick spent the time up there. Bjergsen and Cho'Gath heading up towards from that river. Both teams kind of trying to stay safe.
Yeah, they're pinging on the wrong bush, unfortunate for them. I'm a little curious as to, I mean, they killed off the bottom, and then they knew there was 2 top. They did not go for a dragon. Just making sure, yeah, it's totally still there. Would have been a really nice time to grab that dragon. I mean, you had no bottom lane support, and you knew where the other 2 were. That would only leave Lux. I guess Lux could be a bit dangerous in terms of being able to take it out from afar, but still would have been a really nice opportunity to solidify some global gold. But as it stands, first tower down, top lane, about 11 minutes in, and not going to Wolves.
No, right now, Warwick and Olaf headed towards the mid lane. Lux Laser did go off, getting some damage on Bjergsen with that ignite. And it looks like Alternate starting to set up for the Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if we did not take advantage of it here for the Wolves, might as well. A really good grab here on Jerry. Gets turned around by that Blitz with the Silence and the True Shot Barrage, so maybe we're not going to have quite the presence that we wanted here. We also got the Lux Laser down, the final Spark, not ready to go, so it is going to be a 5-on-4 if we do this. And yeah, we're just going to be forcing Alternate right out, and that means that we do have an opportunity for the Wolves to pick up the Dragon as is.
Alternate had to back out from that Dragon the minute Jayri went down. They just said no, we can't absolutely handle this. Wolves actually picking that up. A Blitzcrank hook going down onto Coton. Coton almost getting taken down. He actually almost makes it out alive. The Test picks that up with another auto attack. Kerp almost trying to make it out of this one. The Ragnarok coming down, and it was not enough. The Test picking up that one as well.
Nice double pickup for the Wolves. Plus, the Dragon did not get Smite stolen, but it was Kerp. He was trying to grab a kill. He did use his flash to just try to get off that final attack, but, you know, flash for a flash, and he's just kind of left out in the open. And once again, I mean, we have 5 kills, 2 assists on an Ezreal, and we only have 8 kills in the game for the Wolves. So 5-0-2. He's been there 7/8 of every kill, and I just don't want to hit this gold button, but he's at 5,600 gold compared to Caitlyn at 3K. We have an Infinity Edge at 13 minutes 40 seconds.
I really think Wolves wants to seal the deal when it comes to the Ezreal. I mean, they're focusing a lot on their bottom lane and showing it out and saying, hey, you know, we're controlling this. We're going to make this go our way. And I mean, with the Blitzcrank, he still doesn't even have boots as it stands, but he's almost getting the Ruby Sightstone. I mean, he has the Ruby Crystal, he has the Philo Stone. They're just controlling the map, I mean, when it comes down to it. They did lose that top lane turret, so the gold from that Dragon is still a little bit even. Obviously, Alternate still has a slight advantage from the Dragon gold, but it's not gonna be that close if it's continuing to go the way it is.
Frelin Lord just making use of the laser to poke down Svenskeren. Bottom lane, though, an Infinity Edge against only a pickaxe. Like, look at the creep difference there as well. 35 creeps up. Ezreal's just doing some amazing work. And 006 on that Blitz. Yeah, he has been there 6 out of 8. And that, I mean, we were just talking about this back at the pause. I mean, boots, you know, does not seem to be super important to get that first must-have item anymore. And, you know, we do have that overdrive ready to go on Winner just in case anything does go wrong. But with the test there, like, who does he need to run from?
Right now, Bjergsen actually getting set up on mid lane. Frelin Lord taking quite a bit of damage. Bjergsen actually getting finished off. All 3 members. Binding almost hitting down onto Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath making it down the mid lane. They're just continuing to put the pressure onto it. There's the laser going down, finishing off of Cho'Gath. And Frelin Lord actually picks up 2 kills off of that engagement.
Nice double. The double seems to be the theme of today. We got that True Shot Barrage going out. It will interrupt Frelin Lord. He is not going to be able to go back to town quite yet. So now, is he going to suicide? I think he's just going to give it up.
I think he is too. I mean, you can't really go back through that to try to deal with it. Yeah, you're just gonna have to say, you know what, I'm not gonna make it out alive. I'd rather just die and not give them the money.
Yep.
But it looks like Godbro up top, split pushing, trying to take down that top lane turret and even that gold gap just a little bit more. The gold gap actually isn't as far as it seemed like it would be. I mean, with that pickup of a top lane turret, that's still only, you know, it's a 3,000 lead. Most of it's on Ezreal, so it's a very scary lead. But it's not all that big of one. I mean, you could definitely come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, a nice ace on either side could really start solidifying who is going to be coming out in terms of the money. But we also got, you know, some other items coming out. Haunting Guy is now purchased on both Zyra as well as Lux. And Eve Mid already has that Haunting Guys as well. So we have 3 Haunting Guises in the game. When was the last time you could have said that?
It would have been before my time, to be completely honest. I'm actually wondering which one of them is going to upgrade to that Leandri's Torment item first.
But we are seeing, you know, very similar build here for the Zyra that we saw Fnatic run last round, because they did have a very offensive-minded Zyra. No more just stacking all the gold pretends, no more just sitting back with that support role. No, she is going very offensive. So is Jerkson in the mid, trying to defend that tower. Ace in the hole coming out, not going to grab the bind from Jerry, but Kerp, I don't think, actually cares about tower damage at this point. He just dives right in. They pick up another kill on top of this Eve, and we do have 5 mid now for Alternate, just putting the pressure, putting the hurt on into this tower, and Ezreal is just still nowhere to be found.
No, at this point, I mean, Ezreal wasn't going to make it mid in time for that 3-man push. So he just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just take this bot lane turret, and we're just going to have to, you know, have one of us die for that global gold.
So they trade out 1 turret and a kill for 1 turret. I mean, not the best of trades, but at least they got something out of it.
All right.
Okay, so that'll put us at 8-5, about 3,000 gold difference. And in terms of the Leandri's Torment, I mean, I fully expect the mids to be able to pick them up first, simply because they're farming, you know, quote unquote, lots of money coming their way. But just look at the pressure that Tess can put up just in bot lane, just with the boots 1. Like, with his arcane shift and the damage he's pumping, you know, Meadow X has to go back to town already. And, you know, should be his time to farm. I mean, the lane is pushed right up to the tower.
Yeah, Caitlyn at this point is kind of shut out. I mean, you really can't turn around and say, okay, just safely farm for the next 10 minutes and then we'll get us back into the game. But a nice pull coming down on top of Ferelden Lord. Ferelden Lord almost getting taken down by the True Shot Barrage. Zyra turning around with that Stranglethorn ult. The Tess having to cleanse out of that one. And it looks like Jayri might get taken down by Eve. Eve lands that Q onto Zyra, getting taken down, but a bind holds him into place and having to turn that one around. Kerp, though, coming in from the mid lane, flashing forward. Warwick ulting onto the Tess. Tess getting taken down. Bjergsen getting focused down right now. A Blitzcrank hook coming in off onto Olaf. Eve actually makes it out alive going through the purple side jungle. Kerp turning around, throwing an axe onto Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath getting finished off. XL winner. Looks like he's going to make it out alive. Elise turns it around onto Olaf, and Coton might be in some trouble. Stun lands down onto Warwick. Neo Godbro still pushing into it. A nice turnaround there by Wolves. And Ferelden Lord actually looks like he might get taken down as well. But a heal coming out from Caitlyn, sealing that life. Just saving it and saying, you know what? We've been through too much. You're just gonna stay. Just stay.
11-7, a little bit of an extended fight out of that one. I'm more impressed that Jerkson actually got out of that one. The flash across into the jungle and just able to pop that speed boost, saving his life. Skin of his teeth, I think he had something like 40 hit points left, but wow, what a turnaround. That all started with the Blitzcrank hook on top of Ferelden Lord, and he didn't even go down. Just a little bit of a testament to how these guys know their classes, and they're just able to keep up with their positioning. So we have an invade coming in. The Wolves, there's just so many wards being thrown down, so many pink wards as well. They really want to contest this blue, and they might be in a good position to actually do it. It is going to get reset. We are going to throw up Cotton X, Kerp as well, but goodbye, Ezreal. That luck, so much damage. We're coming out with the Cotton X to suppress as well. Axe actually going to be landing here on top of Sven's Karen. Could seal the deal on top of him. Another one landing as well, but we do got that hook coming on for Ferelden Lord. No flash this time. And that Silence will be able to take him down with the help of Jerkson. But Jerkson without that flash as well. Not looking in the best of positions. Ace in the hole coming out. And Metal X will be able to grab that kill. So all of a sudden, we have this really close game in terms of kills. 12-10 over the last 2 team fights. I think we've had, what, 9 kills? And now Jayri getting hit by that Blitzcrank and does drop immediately to Neo Godbro. Did get off that passive as well as the Stranglethorns, but are we going to go for the steal? No. No, I don't think we are.
Kerp is really low. But no, it looks like, yeah, the true damage coming out from Kerp was enough to seal it, and seeing as how Blitzcrank was the only one in range to really get that one out, they were able to say, you know what, yeah, we absolutely have this, without a doubt.
He tried. He tried his best. Did not get it, but that's okay. But still, I mean, that beginning of that fight, the Test just absolutely destroyed Frenelord picked up that kill. Frenelord is sitting at 4-2-4, and as I said, since he's, quote, farming, Leandry's Torment comes out of him pretty easily. So that unique passive of burning people, couple that with all the Lux burst on top of things, and I wonder if we're going to start seeing some one-shot combos.
Yeah, Leandry's Torment, I mean, with that burn, it's so strong, and I almost think that it needs to be almost toned down a little bit, because what we've been seeing from it is it's turning around fights too early. It's turning around fights too quickly, because with the passive of the total health, it's almost like, Elise's Q. It's almost like the damage from Darius's ult and stuff. It's so much of a chunk that it's huge, and having it early on really makes a difference when it comes to, stacking AP rather than having a percentage of total health. But J-Re actually getting grabbed here by XL Winner, a knock-up from Cho'Gath, and a silence coming down on top of it.
Yeah,
Nightbro getting zoned out on, repelling off on behind Metal X. Actually, almost might make it out alive. Metal X getting pulled down by Blitzcrank. Warwick finishing off that Elise, and flashing back over that wall from Metal X.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the net can actually go right through that, but look at the binding coming down here onto Sven's with the ace in the hole as well. Another grab coming down onto Frenelord. Has to use that flash to get on out of dodge, but Jerkson does get grabbed there by Zyra. We got Cotenex in the mix of things as well. The suppress coming down. They really want this Eve kill, and Frenelord will be able to claim that life once more. 5-2-5 on Frenelord, pretty much on tap with everything. But what happened up here? The Tess able to take down Olaf as he's split pushing, and I don't think they can actually stop him going back to town. Oh, the laser's so close.
That almost turned around really quickly. But yeah, the team fights now, look at the gold lead. It's 34,600 for Wolves to 33,500 for Alternate. Those team fights really sealed, really just sort of closed that gap, and they said, clearly it's not as one-sided as it almost seemed in the laning phase.
Well, that early domination from the Ezreal is kind of getting mitigated by the fact that he's not there for some of these team fights where he gets insta-gived in the beginning, and when you take out an Ezreal out of the equation, 6-2-3 Ezreal, when you knock that out, it's really your star player is just gone, and now it's a 5-on-4, and a lot of that farm has been just removed out of the equation. So yeah, we have been able to hold up really well here for Alternate, and yeah, I gotta say, just the long range slows, the long range damages coming out, just really working out well. Look at the damage coming out on top of Winner with that Frenelord combo, but Zyra does drop. Is going to be depending on that passive. It will not matter. Jerkson able to help kill off Frenelord finally. It is going to be the Tess actually picking that one up, blocking the ace in the hole. Jerkson is going to be alive, and another great grab on top of Cotenex as he does drop. So yeah, if you don't take out anyone big in these equations, it does not look good for Alternate, as now they've pretty much used every single summoner you can think of just to try to get out of all that. My god, that was what, a 3-for-0?
You know what? The biggest player in this one has got to be those Blitzcrank pulls. I to be honest, I think I've maybe seen one miss, and it's not even like a hard one to miss. It was just, he's really turning these tides. He's not going for the Olaf. He's not going for he's really just going for J-Re, who's the only one that really controls the flow of that fight with the Stranglethorns.
That, and she keeps walking out in front of everything. Yeah.
This is true. When you turn out a support, your job is kind of a, hey, do I want to be in the front there?
Now,
is this where I'm going to be?
One thing to note, Winner actually rocking that Oracles, has been doing some pretty decent counter warding, been throwing down a lot of pinks as well, but he does have that Ruby Sightstone, whereas we have nothing of the sort coming out for Zyra. So in terms of just ward coverage, we have one ward for Team Alternate. One ward. In fact, actually, that's probably better than we have for Wolves right now. But that Sightstone alone by itself means we can have that vision on demand, whereas we keep buying these wards from Alternate. It feels very Season 2 style. Even the item builds coming out, we don't really see too many of those new items coming out. Really, it's just, Leandry's Torment. We have the upgraded Aegis now on Warwick, and everything else seems to be pretty standard.
Right now, Wolves getting into the red side, or the top side jungle. Pharrell and Lord getting bursted down by the Cho'Gath. Kerp almost getting taken out as well, popping the Ragnarok, trying to get out of the fight. Coton coming up from behind, actually gets an ult off on top of XL Winner. XL Winner gets taken down. Coton gets taken out right behind it, and Zyra and Caitlyn are still the only ones alive. So there was a 3-for-1 trade for Wolves.
Oh my god, look at those crits. The Tess easily taking down Caitlyn, looking for that extra kill, and that is going to be an ace for Team Copenhagen Wolves. 22-13, ace, fairly decent health remaining on everyone. Does not look like a Baron is going to be in the works, but it will be at least a tower, if not two. Fredlord is back up. Not too sure he can actually snipe off anyone here, and the lifesteal coming out from the Tess just keeping him healthy.
Yeah, Wolves kind of staying safe in this situation, thinking, you know what, maybe we could get another turret, but they're back up in a couple of seconds. We'll just back out here, we'll clear out their jungle, and then, yeah, they're all going to go back to heal and look to set up either something for Baron right now. Nobody even wants to touch that bottom lane. Even though it's being pushed up, I mean, Caitlyn you're seeing is the only one that's kind of reluctant to go down there. If you show any one person down there, an alternate, or Wolves is just going to easily pick up this Baron without contest.
Taking out that pink ward. Winner actually throwing down his silence before he goes into the Baron pit, making sure not to aggro that Baron. Really smart move from him. Sometimes, yeah, low reloads, you forget to do that. Unfortunately, Baron then aggroes and you die, and people call you a blamer. But 22-13, these Wolves are doing some fantastic work. I mean, they did lose against Fnatic 20-6 in game number 1, but they seem to be very much in command against Team Alternate. 22-13, 10-2 on that Ezreal. Does have that Infinity Edge as well as that Phantom Dancer, and now, curiously enough, he has himself a Giant's Belt.
Interesting. Are we actually going to see AD carries go for the survivability rather than straight up glass cannon builds with the new Season 2 items? He just finished his Warbox, so he's clearly not worried about finishing off enough damage. He's just knowing he's got to stay alive in a fight now. Well,
let's compare it. 10-2 to 1-4. Yeah, I'm not too sure he's actually that worried about it. In terms of like armor across the board, like, what, we have it on Cotnex, and really that's it. That's the only person actually building armor. So the armor penetration, maybe not. We got True Shot barrages as well as the Evelyn AoE going down. Jayri throwing down that Stranglethorn's just going to try to reset this fight. He is extremely low hit points. Is going to get a shield there from Pharrell, so no kills there, but still the damage. Oh, this could be terrible for the Tess. Oh, he does drop to that binding combo from Pharrell, and God, again, Pharrell on point with everything. We're going to get that suppress on top of Winner. Does throw out the silence, will not be enough. Jayri actually going to be picking up that kill. Kind of expected MetalX to be able to solidify that, but now with 2 of the Wolves down for 0, are we going to see a Baron?
You know what? I mean, obviously Alternate's going to want to force the Baron at this point, but with how low some of them are, and the Eve still being alive, it's kind of an issue whether or not they should. Eve actually taking out that Zyra who's just alive, and he gets finished off by Pharrell and Lord's ult. Sphere's gonna actually just try to make it away. Cho'Gath getting ace in the hole, and a double kill going down onto Kerp, so they're gonna turn around and just start to finish off this Baron, but Godbro is still alive.
Baron still dropping 4,000 hit points, but it's a slow burn, so to speak. Godbro's going to get in there, is able to take out that Caitlyn. Not going for Pharrell. Okay, he is going to go for Pharrell Lord, but just like it's playing Ring Around the Rosie, or Ring Around the Baron at this point. Baron, however, has been landing some pretty decent damage. The True Shot barrage does go out, and it will be the Baron going to alternate. Only 3 members. Sorry, only 4 members, not Caitlyn. Caitlyn is unfortunately dead, and she will not be getting that Baron, but still, some really good kiting coming out from Team Alternate, and, you know, again, that's just really keeping them here in the game. They might be down in kills, might be down in towers, but, you know, the gold difference is not that heavy.
No, these team fights are actually, they're so close from both teams. I mean, every time something happens, they start to split up, and then they say, you know what, we gotta go back into this, and we see these extended team fights of people turning around and thinking, can I get a kill? Can I stay alive? Can this turn around? And the gold difference now is 700 gold away. I mean, there's 24 kills on Wolves' side to 18 on Alternate, but with And we even see the 5 towers down for Wolves. The difference is coming down to the last hitting. It's coming down to the creep score.
I was wondering when we were just going to see this, but the Black Cleaver has now been finally bought, ladies and gentlemen. Olaf on Kerp, no less. Has a Hex Drinker and then a Frozen Mallet, and now he's going to start shredding away some of this armor with that Black Cleaver. Now, this has been something of a debate, but the Black Cleaver passive is not unique. Doesn't matter to Metal X. He's going to drop. Bam!
Oh, that looked horrible for him to sit on. Godbro engaging on top of Pharrell and Lord. Bergson coming down with that Eve ult, but his Stranglethorn's going to keep him and turn around. Kerp almost actually getting taken down. XL Winner still alive. The laser coming down, just barely missing it, but it looks like Wolves here are going to turn around this team fight. And they say, you know what, we do not care that you have Baron. We're just going to engage on one of you, pick one of you off, and then it's just going to go smooth sailing from there.
A lot of poke here from the Wolves, and I mean, we still got Baron here on Team Alternate, but 3 on 5, I'm not really too sure they can actually defend this out. They are going to land a little bit of damage on top of Winner. Zyra is going to throw out her plants, but down goes the tower. The Tess has absolutely no regard for anything. He's just going to go straight for that inhibitor. Frontalord taking a little bit of poke as well, and that Arcane Shift really just saving the bacon there of the Tess. Now, Cottonex is going to be speed buffed because of the low hit points there of the Tess. Actually just lost it because of the lifesteal. They're still in pursuit.
Yeah, I mean, he still has it from Winner, so he's just barely in range, so Warwick still has that speed buff. I mean, he clearly has his ult, and he could kind of turn something around here, but we've got to wait for the entire team to come back up. True Shot Barrage going down the mid lane, clearing things out. A Lux ult coming in, trying to pick off Winner. Makes it out of that one just alive, but a nice grab going down on top of Fereldenlord. Fereldenlord actually flashing out of this one. Ace in the hole coming in from Caitlyn. And Alternate might actually turn this one around on top of the tower.
Yeah, rubber banding to the extreme here. Down goes the mid inhibitor, but now Alternate able to counter out with that tower. We've already got that flash down for Fereldenlord. One more grab on top of him could end his Baron buff. But they don't have any creeps to push into, so if they're going to be into here, they have to tank it. I mean, Kerp could probably tank it well enough, but with 5 members of the Wolves just beating down on you, probably would not last that long.
Yeah, I definitely would not want to sit on a mid lane turret and have an Elise right there just waiting for my health to go down. That alone kind of discourages them from trying to pull something, you know, really risky and trying to get a risky play out from on top of it. So they're just going to turn around, play safe, go back, get the jungle buffs, and heal up and try to turn this one around that way.
Yeah, everyone's actually picking up jungle buffs. At least 3 of the 4 were just picked up. I don't think the red is actually alive right now for the Wolves. So yeah, 3 of the 4 buffs there. Baron should be ending fairly soon as well, which means the respawn timer is going to be coming up fairly soon. But still, we were able to push down at least to the inhibitor tower, if not any past that. But we have 1 inhibitor down for Alternate. That's something they're going to have to keep in mind. That's something that the Wolves need to kind of punish, you know, by pushing out other lanes, because the longer that they can keep Alternate away from that mid lane, just the longer it's going to be pushing by default. And this top lane is looking to be the next target.
Yeah, this is another one of those situations where, you know, having the big bad wolf on your team you want to make sure your towers are made out of bricks. You don't want them to be made out of straw. Just have someone just sort of blow them away, and you know, it's a tower. We're just gonna huff and puff, and it's gonna fall right on down.
Well, Tess does have himself some armor penetration now with that last whisper. Could easily take it out. They're just looking to poke him down. You know, the Wolves want a nice clean ace so that they can just finish up the game, but oh, they're taking their time. Finally, there we go. Tower down.
Alternate had to pull back. They had to have somebody go back and clear out the super minions from their Nexus tower. So Wolves were just kind of banking, waiting on that one to turn into a 45, and then just push straight onto it.
Nice laser coming out from Fereldenlord, hitting 3 people, burning them down a little bit, but it's not the biggest of damages. Kerp, however, is going to go in and land his lightning bolt on top of Jerkson, so he's not looking so hot right now. Ace in the hole on top of things does get blocked out, so maybe the Wolves are going to rethink this one, just kind of go back, do a little bit of shopping. But yeah, because that mid lane was just self-pushing, all they have to do is just bide their time, and these team fights will go in their favor.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, obviously you have to look at it from Alternate's point of view. They can't really go anywhere and solidify anything. They have to wait for their inhibitor to come back up, and even then, it's still iffy. You still have to say, okay, well, we got to make sure mid lane is controlled and exactly the way we want it to be. So Wolves at this point, I mean, even without like vision wards all over the map, I mean, it's not really a revealed map from this point. There's not that much out on it, but I mean, they control the entire map just with having those towers down and just with having an inhibitor down. So at this point, controlling the flow of the game, Wolves has it down.
Wow, we actually have Home Guard on the Sorcerer shoes here for our Evelyn players. So Home Guard plus a little bit of a speed increase on top of that. She could probably rock out to the 600 move speeds. You know, in terms of just those boot enchants, we don't really see too many boot enchants coming out. We have Distortion for our Lux, you know, a little bit of cooldown reduction for Teleport, Flash, and Ghost. That's why she's able to flash so often. But at the same time, I mean, we saw Home Guard last game with the Lee Sin, and now we're seeing it this game with our mid Elise. So a lot of choices out there, but we're not really seeing them explored, really.
No, I mean, the boot enchantments, it's really a better idea to wait towards the end game. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Alternate start to build the Home Guard a lot on many of their team members, because they're stuck at their base most of the time. So having that instant heal would kind of turn things around really quickly. But it looks like Wolves here, pushing down on top of Baron. Cho'Gath finishing that one off with an ult. A hook comes out over the wall, but Frelin Lord actually able to dodge that one. But with that Baron, Wolves is looking to seal something here. They're looking to say, you know what, we got to make sure we win now. Well, we can't push this off any longer.
Inhibs are back up, but we have no towers on either the bottom or the mid lane, so either is really just a viable option at this point. Now, I'm looking at Warwick, and Warwick went for an Iceborne Gauntlet on top of everything, so a little bit of ability power. I haven't seen an AP Warwick in a while. Winner, however, getting chunked extremely low. And that was maybe a little bit of a misplay for him. And the True Shot Barrage, I don't actually think hit anyone.
It didn't look like it. But having that Iceborne Gauntlet on the Warwick, oh, that grab almost missing. But it looks like Khoton turning around, ulting on top of Eve. Eve getting shut down by the Lux ult. Winter taking a ton of damage from Metal X. Metal X actually turning around, focusing on Godbro. Godbro getting taken down as well. Cho'Gath still pushing on top of J-Ray, just committing to that kill for Frelin Lord, popping a bind out on top of it. Cho'Gath getting taken down, and Alternate right now just kind of barreling down on the Ezreal.
Yeah, and there's a Malphite behind him as well. Arcane Shift is going to pop, but did I call him Malphite? Well, Warwick. Not. Yeah. Wow.
Close enough.
I did not even know this bottom tower was still alive, but does not look like they're going to be able to commit to this. Ace in the Hole is going to go out, and nothing. Yeah, so the sole survivor going to be the Tess from the Wolves, and I think that the thing that went wrong there is you don't fight in small spaces against big AoEs. Look at Zyra, look at the laser, look at the Lux bombs. All that damage just came together so nicely on top of the Wolves that I really just got to think they were baited into that fight.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking earlier, it's pretty clear that Wolves had to make something happen then. They had just got Baron. They're controlling the way things are going now, and if it goes on any longer, I mean, both teams are going to start to get farmed out. This is the point where everyone starts to get all of your items just naturally with that ambient gold increase. So they knew they had to force something at that point, and Alternate just kind of corralled them down that underside of that lane and just said, you know what? You're going to fight on our terms, and we're going to come out on top of this one.
Well, on top of it, they did. Gold still extremely close. 200 gold between them, despite all the differences in kills, towers, dragons, barons. It is all good. But the big important part here is that, you know, while we did miss out that inhibitor on the mid, we defended the one bottom, and Team Alternate was able to prove that they can still take down the Wolves 5-on-5.
Yeah, when it's a really close, I mean, even in gold, when it's a really close match, any team fight can just be turned around instantly. All it comes down to is positioning, and Alternate is turning this one around and having perfect positioning almost every time.
Black Cleaver, Mauve Mortius, Iceborne Gauntlets. We got a DFG now on top of the Lux. A lot of armor penetration coming out from this team, to boot. We got the Black Cleaver, we got the Last Whisper, we got another Leandries on that Zyra now as well. And oh, this could be bad. Knee God Bro getting just absolutely chunked. Throws down that Zonias, but he is going to get knocked up by the Stranglethorns. And Forellan Lord once again taking the kill with that laser, and kind of a little bit odd positioning as the Wolves are in behind alternate, but they're trying their best, trying to take down the Test, but the Test in the back able to take down and pick up that double, and now this could be bad for Forellan Lord. He is going to try to flash on out of that, but despite all of that, they just committed too much on top of Knee God Bro, and he might have died, but still 5-for-1 exchange, and this is very likely the game for the Wolves.
Yeah, I honestly cannot see anything else happening out of this one, even if Blitzcrank tanks those turrets just long enough. But I mean, the minions to get there, that was it was almost a really close fight when it started. But once alternate got kind of grouped up and Wolves just kind of had that out and said, they really turned that fight around when it came to positioning. When Wolves came in from behind, all of alternate was just stacked up on one point. And it cleared everything out when Wolves turned around and popped, your Evolt, your Cho'Gath knockup, your Blitzcrank silence. It was just, it was over. So, huge victory going on towards Wolves. That was, without a doubt, one of the craziest team fighting games I've seen in quite a while.
Well, there's the end scoreboard for you guys. 31-23, 60 assists apiece. My goodness, 42 minutes. That was actually a pretty decently long game for Season 3, but 10-6 on that Evelynn, 14-3 on that Ezreal. Ezreal really still showing that he has it here in Season 3, despite all those buffs, and sorry, not all those buffs, all those nerfs. Yeah, he did totally not get any buffs. But again, like 2 games in a row, we've seen Ezreal not even bothering with the Trinity Force.
No, and it comes down to how they team fight. I mean, if you're spending a lot of time using your Mystic shots, if you're spending a lot of time trying to zone the way the flow of the fight works, the Trinity Force, that's when it's really used. But when you saw them fight, you saw it go completely down onto it. Blitzcrank pulling a Zyra or Metal X in would focus that team fight being really really concentrated. So having the Ezreal with the attack speed buff from his passive, and then having the crit from Infinity Edge, it turns out to be a lot more damage, just straight up, than just having the Trinity Force and spamming your spells.